Hi, Justin Brown. Just finished doing the CrossFit age group online qualifier. Finished 19th in the world in the Masters of 44 category. And I wanted to share some of the things that I did along the way that helped me from a supplementation standpoint. The first most important point is that you can't really use supplementation in place of a bad diet. The very first thing you have to do is you have to have a high quality diet, and which really means getting the proper fuel, getting your macronutrients, which is your fats, your carbs, and your protein, and in adequate amounts, especially when you're training at a very high level. I was close to 4,000 calories a day, which was definitely difficult to match each day. But I used a meal delivery service. I ended up using Catered Fit to help supply some of my meals. And between, I used a lot of other foods that we can discuss on at a different time. But right now we're going to talk about supplementation for peak performance in fitness, and really in CrossFit in particular. So we're going to talk about pre-workout, we're going to talk about intra-workout, we're going to talk about post-workout, we're going to talk about how to increase protein between meals, and then we're also going to talk about like an evening routine. So pre-workouts, a lot of people probably heard of C4. I did not use this very often. This tends to create a lot of jitters. It has a lot of caffeine. It is definitely something that will give you a boost if you're feeling really tired and just kind of lagging and you're not having the energy you need. You know, C4 is definitely a powerful pre-workout, but I really wouldn't recommend taking this on a frequent basis because I do think it can lead to adrenal burnout, and it can make you feel like you need to take it all the time, and I really don't recommend that long term. What I do recommend is a product called Beat Elite, or any product that, there are other very good products, and I first learned about this by a world-class Spartan racer on a Tim Ferriss podcast, and she was someone who has been taking beats prior to workouts. She does like 24-hour races, and was talking about her effects that she has received utilizing a beet product. I also have found very positive effects, mostly on an endurance basis, because it increases nitric oxide in your bloodstream. So basically it makes blood more readily available to your muscles, so it can prolong muscle fatigue and help in your muscle endurance. So in CrossFit or high intensity type workouts, a beet product is definitely a good option. Some of the beet products also have like a tart cherry, which tends to reduce inflammation, and that would be a good product as well. Tart cherry more on a recovery basis, but Beat Elite, very good product. By the way, eat beets. Beets do the same thing. So again, this is all supplementation. We're still on the pre-workout side of things. So beta-alanine. Beta-alanine is known to increase endurance. Again, it does give you a little bit of an extra boost. Some people, if you take too much of it, will get a feeling of itchiness or irritation. So just be careful with this. I like to do like half. I use about half of what is recommended. So one scoop contains 3,000 milligrams. I would do about half of a scoop in my drink that I would be utilizing. So essentially, I put Beat Elite in with beta-alanine, and that seemed to be a really good combination for me. People often wonder about caffeine. Caffeine is also known to be a vasodilator, so it increases your vessels, your blood vessels, so it allows for you to, again, pump blood faster. And so caffeine is definitely something that's been known amongst endurance athletes to be helpful. So whether that's a cup of coffee or Four Sigmatic is another very good product, and this is known as a nootropic, which helps with your focus and your cognition. And a lot of times you really want to be focused. Now, there's a couple ways to look at this. A lot of times with pre-workouts, you don't want to have your heart rate jacked too much. So caffeine does increase your heart rate. And the whole idea of performing your best is trying to maintain your heart rate, to try to keep your heart rate lower so your body's adapting to that intensity at a more efficient manner. So, I would play with this, but I wouldn't just race day go with this, or competition day go with a coffee. I would make sure it's something that you test in your training. And that's, one of the great news about training is you get to test how different products affect your body. I won't say that, you know, any two people are impacted exactly the same based on these supplements. And I've had people say this stuff works great and has no impact on me, and vice versa. So, you know, I recommend testing these different things. You know, there's mixed science when it comes to, and I'll give you a little background, guys. You know, I've been playing with supplementation since I was 16 years old, which is 25 years ago. And I've used creatine off and on for 25 years because it's proven, it's backed by science. You know, when EAAs was the only company making creatine, I was taking it back in high school. And so I've played with most of the supplements that are out there. And I know which is backed by science, and majority of them are not backed by science. Like 90% of the supplements on the shelf have no scientific backing. And essential amino acids is one of those supplements that really doesn't have strong scientific backing. I do think that there could be a role to it. You know, this is a product that is contains caffeine. It does contain some amino acids and also some other lion's mane, which is actually also in this product. So it can be good for focus, known as a nootropic. Help improve your stamina and your focus. So that is something that I tested. I didn't only use this very little in my training. Not one of my key go-to. So now we talked about, you know, what to have during the intro. It's just water. You know, if I'm gonna ever, you know, drink anything or take anything during, I want to have something that's gonna kind of basically get my mouth wet, but not drink so much water that it's gonna slosh around or create problems with digestion. So those are some things to think about. After workout, this is a really good product that I've come across. I really like it. It's made by Vital Proteins, but which, by the way, also makes coffee creamers. So you can throw, if you're having a hard time meeting your protein numbers, you can throw Vital Protein collagen protein in your coffee, and it tends to work really well. So this is Recovery Wave. It's got collagen protein in it, which, you know, as a master athlete, is really important for joint health. Essential amino acids and branched chain amino acids. Really good product. This is something to take after workout. Another thing that you could take after workout would be some type of protein. So again, it doesn't replace your food. Food is always your very best fuel, and your body's going to utilize it best because it's most bioavailable. But second best would be a protein. I stand behind Ascent Protein. I like their products. It's a good quality protein. This particular product has 25 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, and 2 grams of carbs. So really good. All right, now there's supplements that I take every day just for overall general health and well-being. That would be, I'm gonna start with this product. It's a probiotic, and what it does, a probiotic basically maintains your healthy gut microbiome. So it allows for your improved digestion. So again, your body's really only gonna be able to utilize food as well as it's able to take that food in and utilize those nutrients for your benefit. So we want to make sure that we're maintaining gut health, and a probiotic is a very good product to do that, especially if you've ever taken rounds of antibiotics. Antibiotics, anti-health, anti-life. And so we want to restore the normal gut flora. It can literally take 2 to 3 years to restore your normal flora, even after 1 round of antibiotics. So it's something to be aware of. A lot of people are going through stressful times in their life, maybe more so now than ever. And so ashwagandha is a great herb. It's an herbal product that's known to reduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and improve mood. So this is a good daily, just a good practice to be able to sort of maintain your good vibes and good karma and keep your body stress-free. By the way, increased cortisol decreases testosterone, which also will, of course, impact your strength gains. So something important to know. Another one is really a whole food, fish oil. And this happens to be a whole omega by New Chapter. And this is great fatty acids, essential fatty acids, which allow for improved joint health, improved brain health, and I think can help you stay injury free, especially if you're training at an elite level or at any level for that matter. So I think this is daily. All 3 of these products would be daily products. Okay, moving on to what I take at nighttime. If I'm ever feeling sniffles, if I ever feel like I might be getting sick, this is an herbal that, again, is probably I guess the common name is known as breath muth, but this was given to me by an acupuncturist, so that would be something you might have to go to a professional for, and it is effective. I take vitamin D3. Now, some people say everybody should take vitamin D3. Well, I actually had blood work done that showed I was deficient in vitamin D3, so that's why I take a vitamin D3 on a daily basis. And then creatine. Creatine is something that I think 5 grams a day. I think it should be cycled. I think there is a point when it stops having the same effectiveness. I would cycle it every 6 to 7 weeks. Literally just stop taking it after 6 to 7 weeks. But if you have a competition, I'd ramp it up. This is exactly what I did. I ramped it up about 4 to 6 weeks prior to my competition, so that my body wasn't totally adapted to it, and that I was able to maximize my strength gains. I hadn't hit over 300 pounds on a clean and jerk in 3 or 4 months, literally 3 months, and then I was able to PR my clean and jerk at 303 pounds. And maybe this is why, especially considering I was dealing with injury just up to a week prior to the age group online qualifier. So I think that was very helpful in maintaining strength gains. There's a few others. We're going to talk about now, like what I take before I go to sleep. I've dealt with some fatigue issues in the past, and so adrenal support was helpful. Adrenal support was really just maintaining the health of the thyroid and the adrenal glands, and making sure that my endocrine system was able to stay up to speed with the intensity of the training, and to maximize my recovery and really my overall health. So the adrenal support, which really consists of vitamin C, vitamin B, magnesium, potassium. On that note, a lot of people get dehydrated when you're working out 2-3 hours a day, sometimes more, and you're in a hot environment like we are here in South Florida. You're going to sweat a ton. So being able to replenish your calcium, magnesium, potassium is a vital piece, because if you're dehydrated, your performance will plummet. So really important that I was taking liquid IV in my water, a lot of times as recovery water, in order to be able to replenish those really the essential vitamins and minerals, to be able to make sure I'm staying hydrated. HMB has mixed science. Some people swear by it. Some people say it doesn't have impact, but HMB is hydroxybeta methylbutyrate, and it is something that is known to help in recovery and sleep. Again, the studies are mixed on it. I did test it. I know that Rich Froning is somebody who does use HMB. He's obviously a very well-established athlete, probably best CrossFitter on the planet. And so I wanted to test it. And I do think it helped me in some of my recovery along the journey. The last piece is, your recovery is really about sleep. And so I'm not a big fan of sleep aids. I do know there's sometimes when I was forced to work out very late at night, which would then jack my heart rate. It would kind of jack up my nervous system, and it'd be difficult to wind down and try to get to sleep. And I was following my Whoop, and my Whoop was kind of telling me a little bit more about my sleep and my recovery. So I did start to implement very late in my training, like the last 3 weeks, a couple sleep aids, which is Z Elite, these are natural, guys. These are not prescribed, but the Z Elite is made up of vitamin D3, vitamin B6, magnesium, and zinc, and then also some melatonin. And then this is just a pure melatonin. And I wouldn't take both. I would either do one or the other. And I wouldn't do it every night, because I never wanted to feel I had any dependency on these to get sleep. But if I was feeling completely wired, at 8, 9 o'clock at night, I'd want to take something that would help my body to rest and recover. So these are just some thoughts from a supplementation standpoint. You can see there's a lot here, there's a lot that goes into this. It's not cheap when you supplement with this much stuff. But again, we went to Water on the Waves last year, and we had the ability to listen to Rich Froning and Dan Bailey and Josh Bridges, and someone asked, what impact does supplementation have on your performance? And they all said, maybe 1%. Now, when you're an elite athlete, 1% is the difference between being maybe 500th in the world and being first, right? There's a massive gap there. So I don't know that there was a whole lot of science that went into that answer, but the idea is that if there's something you can do that's going to help your body be more prepared to perform better. You kind of want to find that edge. And so that's why, I invested in this. And I do think it did help to some extent. I do think it helped me recover. I think it helped me in my strength gains. It helped me with my endurance. But again, supplementation never replaces hard work. It never replaces the hours in the gym. It never replaces mobility. It never replaces meditation. It doesn't replace the mindset coaching. It doesn't replace the visualization. I mean, there's so many different aspects to performance. This is just one of the pieces. So wanted to spend a little time going over that. Of course, you need to stay hydrated. All of this is really not very effective if you're not hydrated. So you have to be drinking water all the time. I had a big 80-ounce jug that I would be drinking twice every single day just to make sure I was getting enough water in on top of the water I would drink before, during, and after my workout. So Justin Brown, if you guys have any questions, make sure you contact me. I'd love to be able to answer your questions. Love to find out from you if you've utilized these supplements, if they've been beneficial to you. I'm not trying to promote any of these supplements, or I don't make any money on these supplements. This is really just giving you some information that's helped me in my journey in supplementation and improving my peak performance in my CrossFit training. Thank you.